Hey. Time for another out of this world story from our space. Cheated on my birthday after 9 years. This happened about 4 or 5 years ago, and man, if I only knew about this subreddit back then, it would have saved me some time to get back up on my feet. So me, male 29, and my now ex-girlfriend, female 28, were together for about 9 years. I can't say that it was perfect. There were ups and downs like in every long relationship. But I loved her. It did see ourselves together for the rest of our lives. I had already set myself in order, had gotten a decent job in IT, and I was planning to wait for her to put her career in order before I propose. The reason why I wanted to wait is that I wanted her to afford to say no if for some, what I thought at that point, unlikely reason she wants to refuse that. Another reason was that I felt that after I upgraded my job from waiter to IT, it did change me. I did meet tons of interesting people, and I wasn't sure what a similar change would do to her, and more specifically, for us after she sorted out her career. And then, my birthday happened. My friends came over to our place, and then we went out to a pub. Got tons of drinks for the event, and I was feeling perfect, invincible. I had, still have, a good career, amazing friends, and someone that I loved by my side. I felt that my life was complete, and that I have everything that I need in my life. Being in that euphoric state, I got shit-faced that night. My best friend managed to count that I've had around 40 shots of Jaeger and other stuff plus beers. That night, I've experienced my first ever blackout. At some point, my best friend got me a bottle of water to help me sober up. But I was too shit-faced that I've looked at that bottle of water and I was like, water? What do you do with water? Answer was, shower. Then I've poured the entire bottle on myself in the middle of the pub. I do recall my girlfriend being mad, my brother somehow managing to get me home, and then the next thing that I remember was waking up with one of the worst hangovers that I ever had. When I woke up, the first thing that I recalled is how mad my girlfriend was, and the first thing that crossed my mind was that if she's ever going to cheat on me, it will be in the next 2 weeks. Not sure if it was a hunch or why I've got that thought. I went to the kitchen and saw my girlfriend there. Instead of being mad, as it would have been probably normal, or at least closer to what I would have expected, the first thing that she asked was if any of my friends mentioned anything, because there might have been a misunderstanding after I left. I've asked no one mentioned anything, and asked for details. She said that there was a dude that walked her to the cab when she returned home, and she just wanted to clarify so that there's no misunderstanding that anything happened or something. I did do the math in my head. There wasn't time for anything serious for the time that she left the pub till she arrived at home. But she not getting mad, and instead, the first thing she said was her clarifying that nothing happened between her and that random guy, got my senses heightened and alert levels on for something bad possibly incoming. I've left it like that for that day since I was still feeling crappy for both the hangover and also getting shit-faced while with her out. During the following weeks, I had to pull some night shifts at work to align my schedule with someone from the US. Everything went fine until one day when I verified with Facebook. It was a routine for her every weekday to be online between 9 and 10 p.m. Every weekday except that one. Normally, I would have ignored that. But since I was sensing something bad incoming, I called her. First, I got no reply. And then, her phone was closed when I called the second time. I had the possibility to work from home as well, so I quickly left the office and returned home. She wasn't there, so grabbed my laptop, jumped in bed, and continued my work from there. She arrived at home past midnight, about an hour before I was supposed to arrive at home. I've asked her where she was and what was up with her phone, and while she was telling me that, she was over at her friend and forgot to tell me blah blah. I didn't pay attention to the actual story. I've only paid attention to the details that she was giving because I knew that the story will be backed up. And, boy, I was right to do so. I got like 4 to 5 details that did not match from that story. One of them being that her phone ran out of battery. So, I simply went to her phone that she plugged in and started it. Behold, the battery was above 60%. She was just entering the room when I turned on her phone, and she started to panic, although I didn't have her unlock pin. I told her sarcastically that I'm impressed by how fast her phone is charging, and then asked her again, where was she that night, and accused her of cheating. Of course, like in every other story here on Reddit, she denied it, told me that I'm imagining stuff, and so on. A few days later, the same story. I didn't see her online around the same time. Got home, she's nowhere to be found. Only this time, she returned only in the morning. Same as last time, she said that she was visiting her best friend. I fell asleep there and told me that I'm imagining stuff and that she's not cheating on me. At that point, I was 100% convinced that she's cheating. The only thing that I've needed was proof. Since she was occasionally using my laptop, I've installed a keylogger on it. It logs everything that you type on that machine's keyboard, including passwords on websites. The next day, I've already had her account hacked, and she had long chats with the guy that I've mentioned earlier in the story. Still, the chat was mostly clean, only some soft flirting. I've told her that she left her Facebook account open on my PC and confronted her about the guy. She told me he's just a friend, and that I'm paranoid and I should get some help. I left it like that since there was no irrefutable proof. But the first thing I've noticed on my keylogger is that she immediately changed her Facebook account's password. Friday came, and since I was already in a bad mental state, I went out for drinks directly after work and stayed with some of my friends until the morning. When I got home, the first thing that I did was to check her Facebook account, and there I was, conversation with the same guy. But this time, there were explicit messages like, "I can't wait to see you again," and other stuff that I won't get into details. I started crying next to her. She was sleeping. And then she woke up and asked me what happened. I turned the laptop and showed the conversation proof that I was hunting for 2 weeks now. I asked her directly if she slept with him, and since she was still sleepy, she admitted that she did. In that moment, I went outside on her balcony and simply collapsed. I was just crying. Couldn't move or do anything. I've told her that I want her out of our apartment. We were renting and I was paying for everything at that point, as soon as possible. Since she wasn't employed, it was hard for her to sort out the situation, and I've understood that, but what came next completely destroyed me. We were living in the same place, and I was seeing her getting out every other day to meet that guy, spend the night with him. That crap dragged on for more than a month. I wanted to move out myself temporarily and stay with some friends until she sorted out her crap. But when I was about to leave the apartment, she noticed me and started crying that she's feeling bad, that I have to move out because of her, and asked me not to do it. That she will sort the situation herself as soon as possible. After a few more weeks, I cave in. I couldn't handle the pain anymore and started to fight for her, asked her to return back. That everything is forgiven. I'm still cringing when I recall the state that I was in at that point. It was the lowest that I've ever been in my entire life. Luckily, she still chose him, and after 2 or 3 more weeks, she moved in with him. Everything that was left of me was a complete wreck. For the next almost 2 years, all I did was work, gaming, blackouts, and pubs during weekends, repeat. I wasn't even enjoying the pubs anymore. Did not make any new friends or something. I only went there to get crap-faced every weekend. I started gaining weight, felt like crap, didn't care about anything. This lasted up to the New Year's party that I had 2 years ago, when for some reason, I passed a mirror and noticed myself. I was looking like crap. I've gotten a ton of weight, wasn't trimmed, clothes looked disastrous on me. There wasn't much of a distinction between me and a caveman, and that at a New Year's Eve party. That shock was big enough for me to start working out in the next month with a personal trainer, and also check the internet for what makes people charismatic and dating tips. It was more than 10 years when I last dated, when my MIRC and Yahoo Messenger were still a thing. I haven't noticed major improvements in myself at that point, but I was actively applying the stuff that I've learned about charisma and what makes other people like you. I've lost some weight, started to get in shape, but I still did not have the courage to try dating. I felt like I'm not good enough for it. This dragged for about 1 more year until the next New Year's Eve when I went to a party where there were tons of people that I did not know. I've noticed a really nice girl that I considered above my level taking interest in me. It was weird, somewhat out of nowhere, but my confidence level was a lot better, so I went along with it. Everything went perfectly up to the point where she took my hand for a dance and told me that she wants to teach me to dance. At that point, I froze completely. I didn't understand what's happening to me, why I can't act or do anything. I started drowning myself in alcohol just to be able to handle that feeling, and yeah, kind of blew my chances that night. The following days, I was really frustrated with what happened, because I couldn't understand it. I relived the memory over and over in my head, hundreds of times, and then something magic happened. I woke my emotional awareness and started to recall how I felt in each moment during my interaction. The emotional awareness that I woke was so strong that from that point onwards, I could notice emotional fluctuations in myself in real time. That was a complete game changer for me. It's like I was seeing the world with a completely new set of eyes. I started, finally, counseling to get a better understanding. That's when I've learned about anxiety, how to overcome it, and tons of other useful stuff. The first thing that I did after was to start tango lessons. I wanted to learn how to overcome my anxiety, and that was the perfect place. Being in proximity with girls that I did not know, failing in front of others, etc. Things were progressing rapidly, but then COVID hit. It was a huge blow for me, as for probably anyone else. But I couldn't stop. I wanted more. So I started hiking with random groups of people that I did not know. The fewer people that I knew in the groups I was hiking with, the better. That brings us to today. The COVID stuff got a lot better. I resumed my tango lessons. I started to love it, even though I was a complete failure before when it came to dancing. I go for a hike almost every weekend, and constantly try new stuff like rafting, climbing, etc. I can now proudly say that I live the life. I was never this happy. I'm in top shape, way better than I was in my 20s. I constantly meet new people, still date now and then, but finding someone is not on my top priority list right now. And my ex. She's now married to that guy. They have a kid. Not sure if she's happy or not. I hope that she's fine. I wasn't sure if I should post or not since the fact that she cheated on me back then is irrelevant. But the thing that I find important is the recovery part. I see many people recommending these. Go do some workout, work on yourself, find some hobbies, go see a therapist, etc. Unfortunately, I was pretty introverted, didn't share my pain back then, and no one recommended me these. However, they do work. You will get better, stronger, more confident by following this route. I hope that you'll find this helpful. Let's check in with the community and see what they have to say. Quote, Bubbly has a first comment. Sorry to say this, but if it would be me, I would kick her out immediately and wouldn't care if she has a place to stay or not. DOP responds, I thought the same after she left, while I was fuming with hatred. Now I can say that I'm glad that I didn't do that. It's empowering to get out of crap like that with your honor intact. Knowing that I did absolutely nothing wrong, whatever the circumstances, and that I was a better person till the end. The only thing that I regret is that I did not leave the apartment myself and that her tears convinced me to stay.